Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. In this video I'm going to be installing my all-ball conversion bearings into my CX frame. Basically what these do is it converts the actual bearings, so the actual or should I say the GSXR stem actually just fits straight in. You basically just go on the site, put in what frame you've got in your bike, put in what front end you want to install, and then it spits out what bearings you require. The one thing it doesn't take into account, however, is stem length, which is something you have to check. But I have actually been lucky that the GSXR stem, which I'm using on this, is actually the same size as the CX stem, so that was quite good. So what do you actually get in one of these kits? Well, you get two washers here, which are used for spacing. You basically choose which one you want to use depending on how the old bearings actually fitted into the frame, but I'll get onto that when I actually install the races onto the actual stem. You obviously get the inner and outer race of the bearings. These are tapered bearings, so they're better than the actual ball bearing ones. And you also get a dust seal just to keep any contaminants out of your lovely new bearing to make it last a lot longer. So basically what you need for this install, just a basic set of sockets, which I'll use as kind of a drift to put in, spanners and some threaded bar and some washers, and that's basically it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it all together, set it up, and then I'll show you how to install a outer race for a steering head. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so my first plan of using the threaded bar to actually insert these and show you how to do it didn't have to happen. I decided I would use my rubber mallet to just like tap it in, just so it was like sitting there, so it was easier for me to kind of place, and it kind of worked its way in. I thought, buggered, I'll just hit it down with the rubber hammer, and it's worked its way all the way down quite nicely. So I'm quite happy about that. Another good thing is I didn't have a socket big enough to kind of just sit on the outer race, because if you were using this method you'd put a socket on the bar that would actually just sit on the outside ridge of that inner race, because you don't want it sitting anywhere in or you'll scrape the actual surface, the running surface. So yeah, that was quite deceptively easy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the frame over, and I'm just going to put this camera on the tripod and show you exactly what I did with this one on the bottom. So okay, so this is the underside of the frame, and this is where we're going to put our bottom outer race in. So what you do is, as you can see, the bearing comes in two parts. You've got the outer race, the actual race, and you've got the inner race. So this one is actually going to be pressed onto the stem, or pushed on. I've got it in the freezer at the moment waiting for it to cool down, so I'm going to try and put that on next. But with this one you basically just place it onto the frame like that, and as we can see it's quite a nice fit. And what I did with the other one, which I was surprised was literally just lightly, you can hear bits of rust inside the frame, but I'm just going to ignore that. Just lightly go around, because you have to get it so it actually goes into the frame square. Quite easy to do. Don't be scared to use these hammers, they're quite... And then just hammer it home. You'll know when it's gone in, it's pretty... And like I say, these hammers, you can hit it as hard as you want, it won't damage it, and because this frame's powder coat, it's pretty robust anyway. Now the thing is, which I've just noticed here, this bearing actually sits further down than the actual flush bit here, so I can't actually knock it down any further because my hammer doesn't fit in. Oh, there's that plan out the window. I thought it was going to be too easy. The other one actually does sit flush with the top though, which is good, but I'm going to have to find a way of getting that down. About that, BT called for some reason. Ah well, so my next method is going to be trying to do it this way. This is just said big enough to push against there, as in it's actually wide enough. This is actually one of the washers out of the kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to stick that onto there very gently, and then I'm going to stick this onto here. So that's just a big socket, that one. I don't know if I've got a bigger one actually. Do I have a bigger one? There's a bigger one. That's slightly bigger, we'll use that one. Stick that one onto there. Just be very, very gentle. That one onto there. And then we'll thread on this nut. And we'll try and put it in the way I was planning to do it. I've got a bar hole on the other side, so I'll open that. Just keep it still. Once always down, So now I've got some force on the bush, on this threaded bar. I'm just going to lightly turn it and we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Okay, so we've got it there, so it's that part. Just make sure this isn't turning when I do it. No. Are we going in? Might be going in inch by inch. Keep going. Yep, I think it's working. It's going in. Yeah. See, improvisation is key, I find. Let's just keep going in. Wow. There is also a powder coat on the inside of this, so it is a bit hard to do. So we'll just keep going in, and then we'll see how far we get down. I'll then take it off and see if I've reached the end or not, because I don't want to pull it too far up, because I don't want to knack anything or break it. So I'll do a couple of more turns and we'll see. So we'll see where that is. So back fast forward as I wind all this off. That looks like it's gone all the way in. So we're looking good. There's still a little lip there though, but I think it actually tapers in, and this is as far as this one's going to go, so we shall stick the bearing on and see what happens. Have I got the bearing? That's the one. This is the bigger one. Yeah. Okay, so I've got the bottom race in, so that's all done. So what I need to do now is, I'll just show you the race anyway. So that's the bottom race. So we've got the outer race fully in place. The next step is going to be to install this bearing on the stem. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to go into the kitchen and get the stem out of the freezer. So I'll be back in 2 seconds.